Hi everybody, it's Caramel Cocoa Brown again, coming to you with another edition of My Favorite Kitchen. Today I'm going to make meatloaf, two types, or two. I'm gonna make two pans of meatloaf, but I'm going to make each one differently. So I'm going to show you how I do both, and we're going to have a great time. Okay. All right, guys, I got another 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Got Kill Bill 2 playing in the background on the TV. Put some salt in here, some pepper, another teaspoon, actually that's about a teaspoon and a half of the bouillon, another egg. Okay, now this time, guys, I'm going to chop up my onions, but I'm also going to put green peppers. This is about almost a whole green pepper. I'll put some green pepper in here. This is a recipe I got from my mom. My mom would make meatloaf for us years ago, but she would always put tomato sauce in her meatloaf, and it gave it a different taste. And it gave it also a different texture. So I'm making my mom's meatloaf tonight, okay? Okay, that's good. So in this loaf, I'm adding two ingredients. I'm adding tomato sauce and I'm adding green peppers, okay? The first one, just my onions, my seasoning, and breadcrumbs. And for those of you who've seen my other episodes, notice that when I chop up my onions in the food processor, I do short rotations, because you don't want to let the onions chop for too long because they get really mushy. Okay, I'm gonna put all of this. Look at that. How about some ground beef with my onions? How about a little ground beef with my onions? Okay. And I still have a bit of onions left over. And guess what? I'm using them. I'm putting them in here. We waste no onions, no garlic in this house. Okay. All right, now get in there, smush all this together. Look at that. Woo! It's some kind of good. It's gonna be some kind of good. If you notice the onions are chopped smaller in this loaf, it's because I chopped the other onions myself by hand. And here again, sometimes it gives it a different texture. I find when you chop the onions yourself with a knife, you don't get all that juice that you normally get when you chop them in the food processor. Sometimes you want that and sometimes you don't. If I'm making an omelet or something like that, I'll never chop my onions in the food processor because I don't want all that juice. But in this, it's fine. But here again, you're going to chop in short rotations because you don't want the onions mixed. You don't want the onions too mushy. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to get my bread. And guys, I forgot I'm also going to, this is garlic salt. My hands are a little wet. This is sea salt and garlic. If you notice, my little mini food processor right here, it still has bits of onion in it, but that's fine. It's all going in the same place. So I just break up my bread. Look at that, guys. Perfect breadcrumbs. And I'm going to put all that, 2 slices of bread again. I'm putting all that. And my hands in there again. And you mix this until you see that all the bread is a little moist and has been mixed in nicely into your loaf, into your mixture, your ground beef. Okay, and so now the last ingredient that I'm going to put in here. Mom doing this for you. This is a small can of tomato paste, but I'm not even going to use all of it. I'm going to use about half of it. Okay. And sometimes what my mom would do is she would pour the remaining tomato sauce over the meatloaf. So it's very nicely mixed. I'm going to shape this, put this in another pan, and it'll be ready to go into the oven in a few minutes. Okay. All right, guys, another one of my favorite pans. Got this meatloaf in here, shaping it. And I'm probably going to make some stewed tomatoes with this, some mashed potatoes, and we're done. Have a nice, and I'm going to make, when my other loaf comes out of the oven, I'm going to make some gravy with mushrooms with that, and I'll show you how I do that, okay? All right, so that's pretty much shaped the way I want it. I'm going to put them both in the oven. And this doesn't take long, guys, you know, a few minutes. Get your ingredients together, cut it all first, and then it's just a matter of mixing it all together. That's all. Okay? 2 different meatloaves, 2 different tastes, but both delicious. Okay, I'm going to put them both in this oven. Okay. Oh, one more thing, guys. Do you notice? Look at my hands. Do you know there's hardly any fat on my hands at all. In fact, almost none. Like I said, this is 85% lean beef. Okay. All right, guys. Here's my meatloaf with just onion and my brown. Breadcrumbs. Putting that one in the oven. And here's my meatloaf with onions, peppers, and breadcrumbs and tomato sauce. I'm putting that in the oven as well. All right. I'm going to set my timer for, I guess, about an hour. It's not going to take that long, but I'm going to set it for an hour. Okay, at 375 on the convection, and I'll see you in about 45 minutes. Okay. All right, guys, as you can hear, the oven is beeping, telling me that my hour is up. I am pulling both my loaves out of the oven. Okay, look at that. Even you can look at that and see that there's hardly any fat at all. And what I'm going to do is just check the middle of both to see, make sure they're done. And this one's good. Okay, as you can see, it made its own juice because of the tomato sauce that I mixed it with. And I'm going to let my husband taste this one as well. Here you go, baby. Ooh. I don't know which one is better. That one's good too, right? And so what I think I'll do, I really wanted to do something with that juice as well. Let me see. Maybe I'll drain some of this juice off. And what I'll do is garnish this one with the remaining tomato sauce. And I'll throw that back in the oven, just so the tomato sauce can kind of bake a little bit. So there you have it, guys. Look at my 2 meatloafs. One with tomato sauce, peppers and onions. One with onions in a brown mushroom gravy. And they're both fantastic. Alright guys, the meatloaves are ready. This one I made with onions and breadcrumbs and a wonderful brown gravy with mushrooms. This one I made with onions, breadcrumbs, green peppers, and tomato sauce. My husband has given me his stamp of approval on both of them. I've plated them up with some stewed tomatoes and mashed potatoes. From Caramel Cocoa Brown to you. God bless. Eat well. Until next time, take care.